RJ talks for a living and I write for a living, so I made some notes. You know, I want to give a special thanks to RJ for being here. It's really hard to think of a person who is more integral to our life here in Central PA than RJ Harris. Not only because he's a familiar voice that is a companion for many of us every morning, but in so many other ways, through his support for the troops, his support for just countless nonprofit organizations. All those speaking engagements he was talking to you about were usually to raise money for a nonprofit. And frankly, touching the lives of people in so many ways. And so, RJ, your words mean really a great deal, and we really thank you for being here. I think everyone has heard Tip O'Neill. I'm taking one piece of advice from RJ and getting close to the microphone. I think everyone here knows Tip O'Neill's famous saying that all politics are local. Well, today, the opposite is true for journalism. In Central Pennsylvania, last year alone, we had 5 stories that made national or international headlines, from record flooding to the financial mess, let's call it, in Harrisburg, to protests at the Hershey Warehouse in Palmyra that led to the reform of the J-1 student worker visa program, and of course the Jerry Sandusky Penn State story. Now, we exist to serve Central Pennsylvania. That is our one and our only focus. But, and Kirk alluded to this before, as Sarah and more than a dozen other Patriot-News reporters worked on this story, our work, somewhat unexpectedly to us, drew national and even global attention. In the first 2 months after this story broke, our website, Penn Live, drew nearly 50 million visitors from all 50 states and 223 foreign countries. We had, in those 2 months, about 56,000 readers in India. We had about 10,000 readers in Finland. We had, as Kirk mentioned, he mentioned actually, I don't know what time period that was, but in those 2 months we had about 2,000 readers in Bangladesh and about 500 from Kyrgyzstan, which I can't even spell. And we even had 18 readers, that's 18 readers from the South Pacific nation of the Kingdom of Tonga, which that one really perplexed me until I actually ran across where Forbes magazine actually named Tonga as the 6th most corrupt nation on earth. So I figured they were just desperate to get their minds off anything in Tonga, so that's why they were reading us. Now, a great deal has changed about journalism in the last few years. We have blogs and Twitter and Facebook and pretty much instant everything. If the Battle of Gettysburg were fought today, there would be soldiers sending hundreds of tweets and texts before journalists ever wrote a single word. But I think as journalists like Sarah demonstrate, while the tools of the trade may have changed, our nation still needs a strong press. It needs a strong press to dig, to uncover, to hold the powerful to account, to keep tabs on how your tax dollars are spent and, unfortunately, all too frequently misspent. And I have to say that the Central Pennsylvania community has been tremendously supportive of the Patriot-News and of our reporting of this difficult story. I will say supportive, but not universally supportive. In fact, I got an email just on Monday from a reader, and we're now 6 months after this story broke nationally. I got a tremendously angry reader from an email from a reader demanding that I either step down immediately or be fired. I did not forward that to Kirk. Although you'd have to act pretty fast if you were going to do that. We are proud of this award for many reasons. We're proud of it because of the light that it's shown on a powerful institution, We are proud of it because of the attention that it brought to the issue of child sexual abuse for the governor's task force that will reform laws in Pennsylvania and for laws that have already been reformed in almost a half a dozen other states. We are proud of the increased calls to hotlines for sex abuse since this story broke. But most of all, we are proud that this story and this honor, this Pulitzer, reflects our determination, despite all the changes in technology and despite the occasionally buffeting winds of the economy, to continue to serve the people of central Pennsylvania with strong, quality journalism. And now, I am delighted to introduce you the second youngest reporter ever to win a Pulitzer Prize, and one of the hardest working, most dedicated journalists that it has ever been my pleasure to meet, Sarah Gamble.